At least it was better than Ocean's 12. What's going on, good people? It's your boy D coming at you with another episode of the DA Experience. I got a movie review for all you, and if you saw last week's episode, you knew I was going to go see Ocean's 8 this week. I was also trying to see Hotel Artemis, but I've been feeling under the weather most of the week, which is why you might hear that stuffiness or I might cough a few times during this. Forgive me for that. But Friday I just decided to stay in the house and sleep it off. But Saturday I did go out and see Ocean's 8, and the movie was okay. It had an interesting story. The story follows is a part of the Oceans 11 franchise, where you have Danny Oceans, who was originally played by George Clooney, sister, who goes out to played by Sandra Bullock, who decides to rob the Met Gala and put her own team together. She wants to prove that she can do this on her own and doesn't need help from her brother's family or her brother's crew. Doesn't need help from her family or her brother's crew. Let me say it that way. And wants to make a name for herself. She's straight out of prison and realizes, like, okay, I have to do this on my own. It was a good movie. The cast was great in it. The part where they actually are robbing the Met and the plan that came together was when they did it was actually really thought through, and it's a staple of the Oceans franchise, but this one was also an original one, so I like seeing that part. If I had to give anything I didn't like, is the fact that the cast was so good in this movie. You had Sandra Bullock, you had Kate Blanchett, you had Anne Hathaway, Sarah Paulson, I think that's her name. You had Rihanna, Aquafina, Helma Bonham Carter, the Mindy Project, Mindy Kaling, I think that is. Forgive me if I get that wrong. You had all these people. Then you had like some of the side people. You had James Corden. So this movie had a great cast. And unfortunately, that cast never came together and gave you that we're friends vibe that I was expecting to get. You never really saw them interact with each other. There was no real good. I hate to say it like this, but there was no good character development for the other characters outside of Kate Blanchett and Sandra Bullock, whose characters you knew had a past together. They had worked together previously. They introduced some people that you knew they knew, but they never interacted with them after their first meeting with them in the beginning, or even the other side characters never talked to each other or got to know each other. And to me, I felt that they could have built up more on the relationships of these women had they done that. There were some nice twists and turns in it, and if I have to give Rihanna a lot of credit. She held her own with this great cast. You have 4 or 5 Academy Award winners / nominees and Emmy winners and nominees, and she held her own on this cast. She's one of the best parts of this movie. And Hathaway also must have found her spirit animal in the character she was playing, because I have never liked her more than any movie than in this one. She played almost a little too well, as my cousin who went with me said. It was funny because I was like, yeah, she is playing this role a little too well. So those are some of the bright spots of it. The story is actually pretty good, but unfortunately, it just didn't grab me as much as I would have liked to. So this is definitely going to be okay. Within the Oceans franchise, another thing I didn't like, and I hate to compare, but this is for those who've seen the Oceans movies, it was a little too much like Oceans 11. Her getting straight out of jail, some of the twists they were using. And because of that, the movie was predictable. Yes, you understand there are going to be some twists and turns in a movie like this, but it should never be predictable, especially in an Oceans franchise movie, and that was lacking to me. I hope that they do get a second chance and it does well in the theaters, so that they can go further with this franchise and maybe build off of what they established with the characters, gives them a little bit more to do in the next movie. But all in all, it's probably third out of all 4 Oceans movies. It's better than Oceans 12 to me, I will give it that. But there was no really real danger for them, to me anyway. I guess that's just the way that they showed it off, and the predictability of it hurt it in the end portion of the movie. But if you like the Oceans movies, go see this. If you like Sandra Bullock and you like people in the cast, you will enjoy the movie. Just don't think that it's going to be one of your favorite movies this year or ever. It's probably going to be one of those things you saw it and you'll leave the theater and you'll probably forget about it about 2 days later that you did see the movie. It's not going to be on anybody's top 10 list of the best movies of the year. Or not going to be on my top 10 list of the best movies of the year. I'll say that. All in all, it's definitely something worth checking out. I give it... sorry. I got to give it 2.5 out of 5. it was good, but it could have been better. Next up, I have Incredibles 2, possibly. Superfly, maybe something special in the middle of this week. Some people have been asking me about doing a review for a certain movie that's a quote unquote hood classic. Take that with a grain of salt. Because Superfly is coming out next week, I decided to finally do this review. So look for that about Thursday. I'm not going to tell you right now, but pay attention to my Instagram and Facebook and stuff. You'll see little hints of what's coming. As I always say, see you all at the movies, and here's hoping it's a good one. See you next week. Peace.